created to have some fun together, sharing and singing. So, join and enjoy.
Our love for opera brings us together. Thanks for being with us in this trip.
And I know that I said I wouldn't sing it complete, but I wanted to share a little with you on how the mood of Alvaro is. And if you noticed, it's painful. There is no joy anywhere. He's suffering all along with that. The interesting part here, I was telling you, is that we have a tenor voice, a very characteristic Verdian voice, very strong in the center with bright notes, but also with interesting petto notes. So it is from my perspective, I was telling you, it is a very interesting character for a Verdian tenor. But too much darkness. Let's go back to the light, and Katia will be sharing us something nicer to forget about Don Alvaro for a few minutes. What is it that you're sharing now?
Let's forget that there's a hell for those who are not joyful people.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, in this moment, I have a Mendelssohn song. Its name is Bei der Wiege. It's a kind of lullaby, by the. Oh my God, what's happening with our English today? By the
Let's say that it
cradle.
is on
By
the
the cradle.
earthquake. Let's say it's on
I
the
got
earthquake.
it. I know. Probably it was the earthquake. Okay. Um, it is a kind of a lullaby. It's a very soft and sweet song. I worked this in the university, and I love this song. So I will share this with all of you, and probably you know this one, but I know that it's not one of the most famous songs. So I think I hope this is a nice discover for many of you. Schlumre, schlumre und träume vollkommen der Zeit, die sich die bald muss entfallen. Träume, mein Kind, von Freud und Leid. Träume vom Liebe gestalten. Träume vom Liebe gestalten. Bleibe noch ein geduldig. Bleibe noch ein geduldig. Bleibe noch ein geduldig. Schlumre und träume vor Frühlingsgewalt. Schau all das Blühen und Werden. Hör wie keine Vogelsang schar. Liebe im Himmel auf Erden. Schlumre.
The thing about this beautiful, it is a discovery for me, I have to confess. And I was just about to start thinking also about the emotions in this beautiful piece. And suddenly it ended. You know, one used to having these high notes at the end so that we understand that the singer just finished singing. So most of the times, these songs, when we don't know them, they take us by surprise. And also, I wanted to ask you again about Mendelssohn music is difficult music in the sense that he's, let's say, he's technically challenging in the sense of his composition. And how do you feel about singing Mendelssohn when compared to Schubert, for instance?
Well, I think that the main challenge here, for me at least, is to sing in this range of voice that is not my most comfortable zone. You know, if you ask me honestly, do you prefer to sing this piece of music or you prefer to sing the bell aria from Lacme? I will choose Lacme because for me it is easier. This is not written exclusively or mainly thinking about a soprano coloratura because it's lacking of virtuosity, high notes, or pyrotechnics. Uh, for me, these are very deep notes, and that's the main challenge. And also to sing these notes that are not the most comfortable for me with these dynamics, when you are singing probably that is not that comfortable for you, you could be tempted to push your voice and to sing strongly to to make it, if I sing a strong, probably I will sing it better. But this is not a choice in music like this, because you are carrying your baby in your arms, so you can yell to the baby. So it's completely another idea. In Stenhen, you are thinking about your beloved one, and it's not here. So you can think about a larger direction. You are singing far away. Leise fliehen, my Liebe. And you can think that your voice has to travel a distance. But if you're singing by the cradle, uh, outside, you're just singing around this, and that is challenge because you have to use your air very wisely.
And maybe for some people, this thing that Katia is sharing with us may feel like, well, if you're singing an F, what's the problem with singing an F? Well, it depends on the style of the composer that F is going to be sung. So, but if you go for taking those singing lessons with Katia, you will understand more as you will be rehearsing those very often.
Let's imagine that we are using proportions of air and voice. Uh, if you are singing Stenhen, for example, you might be using 17%, 70% voice, 13 air. But if you are singing by De Avige, you should be using around 90% air, 10% voice, because you're just whispering. Outside, and you have to have a very good air to sing this way,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's the
But we have to close this episode of Beautiful and Brightness, and we have to go back to the hatred and darkness of La Forza del Destino, which I have forgotten. We are reaching almost the final part of the program, and I have forgotten to share with you this very beautiful image that I found in the internet as the first not postcard, but I'm not again with the AirCook today. I'm forgetting lots of words in English, but this is the first, the publication,
flyer.
right?
Flyer? Well, it's not a flyer.
Well, that word you see it, that's what is put on the streets to announce something. So this very beautiful
Just
thing,
look
and
at this.
And we are going to share with you, I'm going to be sharing with you a little part because the scene again is very long of Don Carlo, which we were saying it's the brother of Leonora. And I will be sharing with you parts of the scene because I would like you to pay attention to the tone of the voice and what is the state of mind for this Mr. Don Carlos. So I will step away because again, I'm afraid La Fuerza del Destino is around 150% voice and another 150% air.
Totally.
That's usually what it takes. So this scene is usually, well, it's called Urna Fatale, and it is because it starts by telling he has been left alone. Well, I have to share with you that Alvaro saved the life of Carlo, but after having saved his enemy's life, now it's the time that they to join in a battle, but now Alvaro has been hurt. So he's taken away for to be taken care by doctors. But Alvaro leaves again. I don't have the word a cofre.
I
Well,
don't
that
know
box,
what's
that
going.
wooden metal box where he keeps his belongings for Carlo to take care of that while he's taken away to be cured. So Carlo is left alone and he starts his scene by saying Urna Fatale because at some point he thinks that Alvaro could be the guy who killed his father. And remember that he's been chasing Leonora and Alvaro for years because he wants them both to be killed as well. So the scene starts with it starts with a word like this. It says, Morir, tremenda cosa, si intrepido, si prole, e pur morrà, uom singolar costoi. Tremoni canatrava il nome, a noi panesse, né forse il disonor. Cielo, qual lampo, sei fosse il seduttore, desso in mia mano e vive. Se m'ingannassi, questa chiave indica. So this short introduction tells about him wondering whether this guy who has been hurt could actually be his enemy. And so now he's tempted to opening this box, this wooden and metal box, to find out whether he's actually that lover of Leonora and then must die. And then he says, E quei folli che tento e la fe che giurai e questa vita che devo al suo valor anch'io la salvo se fosse quell'inno maledetto che macchiò il sangue mio il suggello si franga niunque mi vede no veni vecchio. Now what is going on in his mind is whether he must open that secret box or not, and that's how
The
the
cover.
actual Urna Fatale starts. I'm going to sing just a short part of it. Orna fatale del mio destino, vata lontana, mi tenti invano, l'onore brief part, or this initial part of the Urna Fatale, is where he has the doubts of whether he should be opening it or not. But his doubts dissipate when one of the soldiers goes back and says that the life of Alvaro has been saved. And then there is this sort of cabaletta full of hate again, where he's enjoying he's telling us that he is very happy that because now that he has discovered that yes, it is Alvaro, the lover of Leonora, he's very happy that he's saved his life because now he can kill him himself. C'è Leonora, con Alvaro inferito, ora egli viva ed è mia amar, poi muoia, lieta novella e salvo, oh gioia, ogni salvo gioia immensa che mi non il cor ti sento, potro al fine il tradimento sola infamia vendicar. Leonora, ove t'ascondi, disseguisti fra le scuole, chi del sangue il tuo padre, chi del sangue il tuo padre, ti fe il volto rosseggiar. Ah, felice pensarei, se potessi il brando mio, amen, ed averme Dio, d'un sol colpo consacrar, e ne salvo gioia immensa, che mi non nel cor ti sento, Leonora, me t'ascondi, disseguisti tra le squadre, chi del sangue di tuo padre, ti fe il volto rosseggiar. Amen due, al mio d'aver novo consacrar, amen due, al mio d'aver novo consacrar, amen due, consacrar, consacrar. And so with that very horrible way of celebrating that Alvaro is alive and that he will have the opportunity of killing him with his own hands and killing Leonora as well, that's how this celebration of revenge of Don Carlo ends. Okay, too much darkness again. Let's go back to the bright side, the beautiful things that Katia sings.
Okay. This is my my last song for today, and it is a poem by Heinrich Heine. Its name is Die Lotusblume, and it's a poem about what's going on?
Earthquake.
This
Remember,
lotus
today's the
flower, this
earthquake.
lotus flower. Oh, I got it. This lotus flower, because I have this name in German and in Italian, il fiore di loto, but it was not in English. Okay, it is a very romantic, but not in the sense that usually we think about romanticism. It is about this flower in the forest, shy, waiting for the moonlight. So it is a very beautiful landscape. You have to know that I love forests, and I think that is a very German song because they have beautiful places and landscapes. So I think that people, if there's people in there listening this program, will surely know how does it looks.
I'm trying to picture that in my mind. Sorry for the interruption. No more interruptions. Okay.
I will try it too. Blumen sticht sich vor der Sonne bracht und mit gesenktem Haupte erwartet träumend die Nacht. Der Mann, der ist ja Bulle, er fängt sie mit seinem Licht und im Entschleiert sie fröhlich. Fröhliches Blumengesicht. Sie blüht und blüht und leuchtet und starret stumm in die Höhe. Sie dichtet auf einen und zerfällt. Liebe und Liebe schwer.
And I was trying to picture in my mind a beautiful scene. I don't know what happens or what goes in your mind when you think about these beautiful, fine songs. What I usually think about is, like lonely places full of grass, trees, birds, flowers. That's usually what comes to my mind, and that's what I was actually thinking while you were singing.
Yes, I usually think about this place you just described. I can feel the fresh breeze. I can think about the silver moonlight. Uh, it is a very very fine song, a very fine music. Uh, like I said a few minutes ago, there's a forte, but you can sing a forte as you just did in La Forza. This place where you sing. You just have to think only about more distance in your voice, more distance in your sound, in your air, but you can gel at all. So it is a very exquisite work. It's not because I'm singing it. I'm talking about the score. It is a very exquisite work.
It certainly is, and that's why it makes me feel a little guilty to sing the darkness of La Forza. I believe today's contrast has been as when we had our program for Bel Canto and Verismo. Remember, you have Lucia, and then there was Canio shouting. We had two very opposite words, and without intention today, we somehow repeated because you have brought very beautiful songs, very exquisite, fine songs. And I have brought almost the most horrible roles that Verdi ever wrote. So horrible in the sense
That
of emotions, I mean, because at the end one feels like one would like to empathize with either of the three. I mean, both Alvaro and Leonora. It was accidentally that the father was shot. They just wanted to
yeah.
get away to live their lives. And of course, Don Carlo didn't want his father to be killed like that. So that's what we're. And I was since there are two duets. In fact, there are three in La Forza, which is what I like a lot. There are three duets between Don Alvaro and Don Carlo. And at this moment, if you know La Forza, you would say, no, there are only two. One of the versions of the complete opera, the version of St. Petersburg, remember that this was the first representation of it was in the Bolshoi Theater in St. Petersburg. So that version has the three duets. And I had to go for the final duet. Only, of course, there are not two voices here. I will be describing what each of them is singing because it's very interesting how now that Don Alvaro himself also is in another convent, he also retired to be away from people. Remember that he's full of rage, that at the minor provocation, he just fires up and wants to kill everybody. So in this scene, what happens is that Don Carlo has found him. And in fact, the duet opens by saying, In vano Alvaro ti celasti al mondo. So it means, Alvaro, it was in vain that you've hidden yourself from the world, because I finally found you. And I found you because I want to kill you. And in this duet, at some point, he throws a sword to the floor and asks Alvaro to go into a duel with him. Alvaro, now being a priest, he says, No, assisti mi, signori. But then the melody of the opening of the overture that we heard goes back and reminds us that they are in the hands of La Forza del Destino, the name of the opera. So he's about to kill another of the Vargas. Well, the last name of Leonora and Don Carlo were Vargas. They were Leonora Vargas and Don Carlo Vargas. So somehow the father, Mr. Vargas, was killed, and now it is Alvaro who will kill another Vargas, the brother of Leonora. Don Carlo, by looking for Alvaro to kill him, it ends the opposite way. Alvaro now kills Don Carlo. And at the end of the opera, which we will not sing that part because we've already passed the hour, so I need to really rush up. At the end, while Carlo is dying, you know that opera resolves things sometimes easily. So Leonora was happens to be in the same place as Don Alvaro and Don Carlo. So when Leonora runs to see her brother dying, with the last strength Carlo had, he killed Leonora as well. So the three Vargas end up dying in the same opera. And that's part of what I am going to be sharing again. Let me read the words. In vano Alvaro ti celasti al mondo, ed ipocrita veste scudo facesti alla viltà. Del chiostro ve t'ascondi, mi adito alla via e l'odio, alla sete di vendetta. Alcuno qui non sarà che ne divida. Il sangue, solo il tuo sangue, può lavar l'oltraggio che macchiò l'onor mio, e tutto il verserò, lo giuro a Dio. So Don Alvaro enters the stage and says, Fratello, and Carlo shouts, riconoscimi. Don Carlo, voi vivente, dal nostro nevo in traccia, ti trovo finalmente, col sangue sol cancella sì l'infamia e il delitto, ch'io ti punisca è scritto sul libro del destin. Tu prode fosti monaco,
qui non hai deieto sangue spargerà, scegli dove ne portai.
And after having been shown the two swords, Don Alvaro does not want to accept the duel, and so he answers,
Visti nel mondo intendo, or questi vestiremo, dicon che i falli al mendo, car penitente il cor, lasciatemi, lasciatemi.
So Carlo answers,
difendere quel saglio nel deserto, codardo, te non posso no.
and Alvaro replies,
Codardo, tagli asserto, no, no, assistimi, Signore. Le minacce i fieri accenti porti in seco e in preda ai venti, perdonatemi pietà, o fratel, pietà, pietà, a che offendere cotanto, chi fu solo sventurato, di chi mi avrà fronte al fatto, o fratel, pietà, pietà, o fratel, pietà, pietà, o fratel, pietà, pietà.
and in return, Don Carlo replies with his line,
A una sola mi lasciasti, che tradita abbandonasti, che tradita abbandonasti, all'infamia, al dishonor. Non fo dissonnolata, ve lo giura un sacerdote, sulla terra l'ho adorata, come in cielo amar si puote, l'amo ancor, e se l'ama, Dio non brama questo cor. Non si placa il mio furore, per menacce vili accento, l'arme impone dal cimento, e dal cimento scendi, meco traditor. Non si placa il mio furore, per menacce vili accento, l'arme impone dal cimento, e dal cimento scendi, me quel traditor, traditor.
as we're reaching the end of the duet, Don Alvaro replies,
Se il rimorso, il pianto mai non vi parlano per me, qual nessun mi vide mai, io mi rostro al vostro pie. Alla macchia del tuo stemma provasti conquestato, adesso prende più che gema, sangue tinge l'immulato. Per l'amore voi mentite, a me un brando, a me un brando, uscite, un brando, un brando, un brando, uscite. And very happy, Don Carlo interrupts that, uscite with finalmente. Don Alvaro again, no, no, l'inferno non trionfi, va, riparti. Tu fai donque di me scherno, sora me qua misurarti, o vidiacono l'accore, ti consacro all'issonore. And that final part ends with, I cannot do it in both voices because it goes very fast, because it goes, segnaste la tua sorte. Then the baritone says, morte. The tenor, morte. Mentre mia morte, segnaste la tua sorte, morte, morte, mentre mia morte, 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 vieni, morte, vieni, morte, a morte andiamo, a morte andiamo, a morte andiamo. And the both voices join with that shout of saying, morte, morte, morte andiamo. As I was telling you, the end of this duel is the death of Don Carlo. Seeking revenge, finds death himself. My apologies for having brought these very dark these very dark episodes of La Forza del Destino for today's program. But it happens to be one of the operas that I like the most. As you may have already noticed, it takes a very good tenor and a splendid baritone and an exquisite, powerful, at least as Pinto soprano, to sing Leonora. With that being said, thanks everybody for having joined us on this Earthquakes Day in Mexico program, and we'll be seeing you next time. Thank you. Bye.